Now let's talk about selective eating and constipation. They are so related. So in certain cases, picky eating can cause constipation. So kiddos who are selective eaters often have diets lacking in vegetables and fiber, which can cause constipation. In addition, if a child is a selective eater and a less than fabulous water drinker, we really have a recipe for constipation. Unfortunately, constipation can also be a cause of picky eating, which leads to a cycle of selective eating and constipation, causing more selective eating, causing more constipation. So kiddos who are constipated may become selective eaters if they're uncomfortable, they're in pain, or they're not feeling very hungry. And this is a really predictable outcome, as most people, not just kids, they feel less inclined to be adventurous at the dinner table if they're not feeling good. Now, throwing sensory needs into the mix, we can also have picky eating be the result of sensory needs, and kids who struggle with texture, temperature, smell, appearance of some foods, they might have a lower diet variety and less fiber. So kids with sensory needs tend to gravitate towards foods with homogeneous consistencies like breads and chips and cheese, where like pretty much everything is the same. It's the same texture, nothing is surprising. So this leads to a diet lower in fiber. And on top of this, many kiddos with sensory needs also struggle with pooping on the potty. So for these kids, the sensation can be scary or especially uncomfortable, so they hold it, which can make constipation even worse. So you see how this is like piling on here, like constipation can lead to picky eating, and oftentimes these kiddos who are struggling with selective eating or constipation also have sensory issues, which just compounds it and makes it even worse. So these kiddos are uncomfortable, and they're then less interested in new foods and even water, so this cycle just continues. So if you believe your child's sensory needs are contributing to their constipation, make sure to bring this up with your child's pediatrician. A pediatric occupational therapist may also be able to help you here. So 2 mom tips from me. So there's lots of books about pooping and pottying that can be useful here, and I'm talking kids books. So we want to normalize this and show them that it's not bad or scary. So my favorite books for this are Everyone Poops, A Potty Just for Me, and for slightly older kiddos, From Chewing to Pooing. So that's my tip number 1. And so my mom tip number 2 is avoid using negative language around pooping, like ew or gross. We want to help your kids see that bowel movements are a normal body process for everyone, and it's not a bad or yucky thing. So what should you do if you think your kid's selective eating is affecting their constipation? So you need to answer a few questions first. So question number 1, is my kid willing to eat more foods with fiber, more poop fruits, which I'll talk about later in the mini course, and drink more water? So if yes, then that's amazing. Start there after you've chatted with your doc and discussed your plan. Question number 2, no. If the answer to question number 1 is no, can you help your kid learn to enjoy more fibrous foods, to learn to enjoy poop fruits, and learn to enjoy more water if you use the picky eating strategies inside Growing Intuitive Eaters 101? So if you answered no to both of these, if using information that you find through my content is not helpful for getting your kiddo to eat more poop fruits, more fibrous foods, and drink more water, it's very likely that constipation is a barrier to your kids trying new foods. They're uncomfortable, and constipation is preventing them from progressing in their adventurous eating journey. So in this situation, you want to chat with your doctor about other options that are not diet related, including medications, to help resolve the constipation first, and then circle back and we'll work on the selective eating and improving the diet and fiber variety in your kid's diet to prevent constipation from returning. So it'll be kind of like a maintenance thing. So pause here. You did not fail if your kid needs Miralax or another constipation medication. If your kid is constipated, it doesn't mean you did something wrong or their diet is bad. just keep that in mind. Remember, there's tons of causes to constipation and not all of them are diet related. So you never know, medication to manage constipation may be just the thing that your kid needs to start trying new foods, and that is amazing. Let's talk about physical activity and movement next. So contractions of the muscles around your intestines squeeze your intestines and help move things along, which is not surprising. So I'm not saying you should have your kid like run laps after dinner. Don't do that. That's a recipe for puking. But if you're noticing your constipated kiddo having long periods of sitting or laying during the day, especially if they're doing virtual school, this is not including naps, then get them up and moving. Not only is this movement good for constipation, but it's good for their overall health.